What's up, everyone? So, a few days ago, I reacted to the Business Insider video about the US Marine Boot Camp. Well, they've got a video about the US Army recruits and what they go through at boot camp. So, I'm going to be watching that one today. Very excited to learn more about the US Army because I really don't know much about them at all. But before we get into that, huge shout out to all these amazing people right here. These are my members. If it wasn't for these guys, I wouldn't be able to do these videos every single day. So thank you so much for being awesome and talking to me in the Discord because you guys are amazing. We played some Warzone, and again, we are yet to win a game of Warzone together, guys. We need to get a grip. We need to get this together and actually win because we've been absolutely shocking. And mostly it's because we're just talking rubbish while we're doing it. But we've been shocking. We will get round to winning. We will win at some point. If you're a member and you're not part of the Discord, link down below, join. And if you're not a member and you want to be part of the Discord, go and join with the link down below as well, and we'll have a chin wag at some point. There's honestly, the Discord's huge now, and it's full of amazing people with all similar interests, so it's really nice to have a chat on there. Also, I do have merch. Go and check it out. Link down below. It's awesome, and I'm going to change it soon. I actually got my hoodie through the post. It's downstairs somewhere. I think I put it in the wash. So I'll wear my small lead hoodie in my next video. So when I'm playing part 3 of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, I'm going to wear my small lead hoodie. So I'm excited for that. Alright, I'll stop chatting rubbish now. Let me pull up this video. Let me shuffle to the side so you can see me big head. Alright. And then let's play this video. Alright. So the biggest complaint, by the way, last time was the video was low. Like the sound was low. So I'm hoping I've sorted that out. If I've not sorted that out, please bear with me. I'm still learning. And my channel is booming right now, but I'm still learning. I'm still pretty fresh to this. So hopefully this is a little bit better.
Why are you moving? Why are you moving? Huh? Huh? Huh?
This is Army Boot Camp. Before they join the United States Army, all recruits have to graduate from a 22-week program known as One Station Unit Training, also known as OSIT. It happens here at Fort Benning, a 182,000-acre military installation.
Wow,
that straddles the
huge.
Alabama-Georgia border about 100 miles southwest of Atlanta. Every year, more than 18,000 soldiers graduate before joining the more than 470,000 people actively serving in the Army.
That's a lot of people.
14, 15.
Although most of the recruits that we saw during our time there were male, recruits trained together in gender-integrated platoons.
These young men and women that volunteer to serve, they show up to us as civilians, and then we take them through a transformative process to turn them into soldiers.
You just go to the position of attention and you stay in position of attention.
On a rain-soaked week in February, we spent 4 days inside the Army's Maneuver Center of Excellence, which trains soldiers to serve in the infantry and armor branches. We saw different companies at various stages of training.
That's interesting.
On day 1, new infantry recruits on a bus from the Atlanta airport arrive at the 30th AG Battalion headquarters, where all new recruits are received.
Listen up. You ain't got one to hear from you at this point. It's yes, drill sergeant, no drill sergeant. You understand? Yes, drill sergeant. What I tell you, you will pass your folders to the front.
The minimum age to enlist in the Army is 17, and the maximum age is 35. The base salary for
35?
an entry-level private is about $20,000 a year.
Let's go. 30 seconds. Hurry up, find your back.
I think the max in England's 31.
The first order of business is establishing the code of conduct.
Because I promise you, if you don't pay attention to what I'm about to tell you, you're going to make your Army career very short. You treat everybody with dignity and respect, regardless of race, religion, color, national origin, gender, sexual orientation, and all other protected categories. Yes? Yes, Sergeant! Sexual assault is any unwanted physical contact in a sexual nature. So if you put your hands on another individual and you're not instructed to, or you're not saving their life, and they file a sexual assault, and it comes down that you put your hands on this individual when you weren't supposed to, that is going to be on you. You will get kicked out of the military. and then you'll probably have to file as a registered sex offender. Do you understand?
Before they go inside, the new recruits learn some basic commands and standing positions.
Everyone look down at their
I just say some of these lads look absolutely terrified, and it's amazing to watch. It really is amazing to watch.
toes. You should be able to fit a slice of pizza in between your toes. If you look around, they're gonna see you, cause you're taller than everyone else! Quickly! Who wanna sit there?
Move your feet!
Grab one and go, it's all the same!
The recruits grab the snack that's waiting for them inside, consisting of a fruit cup, sunflower seeds, a granola bar, and a juice box.
Watch the video!
What?
Since 1775, the Army has been the bearer of our nation's strength in every crisis or conflict. Make no mistake about it, the journey you are embarking upon will not be easy. But you wouldn't be here if we didn't think you couldn't meet the challenge.
Listen up, your last 4-year social.
After being welcomed, recruits begin what's known as processing, which can take 1 to 2 weeks before their actual training begins.
In a little bit, we'll give you a period to go in a room by yourself.
First, they're given one last chance to discreetly dispose of prohibited contraband, like drugs, alcohol, tobacco, and inappropriate photographs.
If any photo you possess on your phone is less than a bathing suit, you will not have it. You will delete them all.
Recruits get rid of contraband in an amnesty room, where they dispose of it by throwing it down a metal chute.
Is anybody confused on what you can and cannot have?
The next morning, the recruits report to the barber shop, where one barber has worked at Fort Benning for almost 60 years.
I've been
Wow.
here ever since 1963. That's a long time. I should have been retired a long time ago, but I wake up in the morning now, I be wanting to come out here and go to work.
Recruits are issued uniforms. They receive a series of immunizations and vaccines.
I tell you what, some of the kit the US military has is just so good compared to what the British have. The kit is just outstanding. And I mean, rightly so, they get funded a lot compared to the British, but some of the kit's just like top notch. It really is.
And get their official photo taken, along with myriad housekeeping details that fill up their 1 to 2 week stay in processing.
Hey, sit up straight!
That is until processing ends, and the time for training finally arrives.
Get your hands out your pockets.
We found a company of recruits about to begin training in the armor school.
Who's the bridle?
These recruits are about to be picked up and taken to their barracks, where they'll reside for the rest of their training.
Let's go! You guys are going to the front, bus, go!
This is the last chance for recruits to change their minds before training begins, like one recruit who decided to stay behind.
Shock of capture.
This short bus ride from processing to their new barracks will be the most peaceful moments these recruits will experience for a while. What happens next is known as the shark attack.
Run! Run! At no time will you walk! You will run! Everyone you freaking go! Go! Run! Run! They say walk! Get your bags up right now! Get your bags up! This way! Let's go! You're a tough guy! Don't do something! Do something! That's what I thought! Why are you still not understanding? He just said it!
Well, it's really just a little shock to the system so we can break them down to build them back up. We're breaking a lot of habits from the civilian world, and nothing better than a little shock to the system to establish that that drill sergeant is in charge to let us start our training.
Pick up your bag and hold it!
The recruits spend much of the shark attack holding their heavy rucksacks above their heads,
Over your head!
which takes a physical toll.
Why is that so difficult? You can't pick that bag up. You decided to join the army and you can't pick that bag up. Right side bag, right side bag.
He looks scared.
After about 20 minutes, the intensity begins to subside. and the drill sergeant's tone changes
We only produce the best soldiers in the United States Army.
before training officially begins. After the shock and awe of the shark attack, things do appear to calm down.
Is it a video?
It's a movie. We found this group of infantry soldiers in week 11 of their training, practicing on the firing range. The mood was much more relaxed,
Try to get 8 up on my level.
and their conversations with their drill sergeants are conducted at normal volumes, like when this drill sergeant educated the recruits on the meaning of the military expression 8 up.
Is a piece of 8 up gum good? You don't want something that's 8 up, right? You want something fresh. You break the seal, it smells like olive oil, right? Okay.
That dynamic changes because we want the soldiers to become more critical thinkers. At that point, we are turning into more coaches and mentors. We dial it back a little bit, so we don't want them frightened. We want them to be comfortable and in a state of mind that is receptive to learning and performing at that level.
What a contrast compared to the US Marines. And to be fair, both methods work. In the Royal Marines, they do hammer you like they do with the US Marines, but there's also times when the corporals will come in and they'll have a bit of a chat with you and they'll kind of seem more friendly in a way and have a bit of a laugh with you. But the thing with the Royal Marines is it's controlled aggression. Like, as soon as you mess up, all of a sudden it's like a light switch and they're angry at you and it's shouting back to that kind of US Marine style where it's really aggressive. But then they can switch it back again. And that's why the British Royal Marines are really good. But the contrast between this is that it seems like all of the US Marines training is very aggressive, and a lot of this, at the start it's aggressive, but a lot of this is very casual. So it'd be interesting if you've gone through this training before, US Marines or US Army, leave a comment down below and let me know what you think about that.
Up to 241 hours of infantry OSIT are devoted to marksmanship, where recruits fire about 2,500 rounds using the M4 carbine, as well as the M249 squad automatic weapon, or SAW.
We create lethality. We create expert marksmen at their individual weapons, because as an infantry soldier, that's what we're asking them to do.
Recruits get one of the most painful parts of training out of the way early.
Once we check your seal, you will not touch your promat.
This group of infantry recruits was exposed to CS gas, or tear gas, in week 1 of their training.
You're going to continue to pile in.
If this is one of the most difficult parts of the training, or most painful parts, he said, their training must not be hard. If this is one of the hardest parts of the training.
Until we tell you to stop. You're going to place your back against the wall.
The recruits spend about 5 minutes inside the gas hut.
What are they flapping for?
The gas hut, the recruits are told to flap their arms like birds.
What are they flapping for?
Remove excess gas from their uniforms. According to a drill sergeant, the effects of the gas begin to wear off after about 4 minutes.
So there's a term that we use in the Royal Marines called flapping, and it basically means like you're panicking. So seeing them come out of the gas chamber actually flapping is pretty hilarious. I absolutely love it.
Some training moves indoors, like combatives, where recruits learn hand-to-hand self-defense tactics.
We're trying to teach them to achieve a dominant body position. So get out of one negative position and then switch roles so they end up having the upper hand in a fight.
During combatives training, recruits warm up with a particularly painful-looking exercise, referred to as the EO. While laying on their backs, they have to engage their core to wiggle across the entire room.
They use their momentum, shoulder blades, their core to help them create space, warm up the body.
Recruits work up a major appetite during training. But Fort Benning is big, and they're not always within range of the dining facility. When they're training in the field, recruits are issued MREs, which stands for Meal Ready to Eat. Each comes with an entree, like this vegetarian pasta with taco sauce, along with an assortment of items like mixed fruit, an energy bar, and this instant French vanilla cappuccino. Recruits just add water, shake it up, and enjoy. Once they're fortified, recruits return to their training. Recruits spend up to 60 hours in training known as MOUT, which stands for Military Operations in Urban Terrain.
Door left, door left. One man calls door left.
Infantrymen are expected to fight in different types of terrain and survive and win the fight. Right now, they are getting their first taste of what that's like in an urban environment.
Rolling T. All right, coming up.
In operations across Afghanistan, Iraq, we are conducting clearance operations, and it's applicable wherever we go.
Boom.
It's important for the future soldiers' muscle memory because they are working as a team with minimal communication, and they have to understand how that coordination works together.
Do it again.
After 22 weeks of training, these infantrymen are ready to leave Fort Benning. Friends and family gather to watch their soldiers graduate on NOA Field.
They look like soldiers, they act like soldiers, they're carrying their head high. I have trainees that were not alive when 9/11 happened. I think that's pretty powerful that I still can find American citizens that want to volunteer to serve their country when we continue to ask them to go to combat.
These new infantrymen don't have long to greet their loved ones.
Get on the bus!
Or say goodbye to their friends before leaving Fort Benning to begin their service in the United States Army.
There you go. So that's interesting. Let me just pull that out of the way. So definitely a big contrast compared to the U.S. Marines. Very interesting. It seems like their training is way more relaxed and doesn't seem very physically hard. Yeah, they had them weird little wiggle things, but I mean, that's nothing compared to, like, 10, 12, 15 mile speed match or even a 30 miler like we do in the Royal Marines. And I understand it's the army, and also like the fact that they push through so many people. The amount of people they push through is phenomenal. So it has to be very kind of robotic in a way, and you have to kind of push them through in a very robotic way. But with that being said, I mean, it sounds like I'm kind of slaying it, saying it's not as physically demanding or anything. They're still really good soldiers. They can still do what they do. I'm not taking anything away from them. They obviously are very effective on the ground. So what they're doing must be good at the end of the day. Like this, obviously this is a short 13-minute video. It doesn't show you everything that's involved, but they must be training them well enough to do well on operations, because the U.S. Army, they do great on operations. So yeah, very interesting to see, and I'd love to actually learn more. If you were in the U.S. Army or the U.S. Marines, please leave a comment down below and let me know your experience with these videos, and if your training was a little bit different, or this wasn't doing justice or something like that, because I would really like to know. But anyway, before we go, I want to give a huge shout out to all these beautiful people right here. These are my members. You're amazing. Thank you so much for being a member. If you want to be a member, there's a little join button next to the subscription button. Next to the subscribe button, sorry. And for some reason, sometimes it doesn't show on your phone, but it does show on the computer. So go on the computer and you'll see a little join button. And there'll be all the 3 different tiers you can pick from. But anyway, thank you so much for being members. I'm really excited to actually finally win a game of Warzone with you lot. And don't forget to join the Discord. Members or non-members, join the Discord anyway. Link down below. And merch, if you want to check out the merch, link down below. Thank you for watching, everyone. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'm really, really enjoying these videos because I'm learning a lot. So if you've got any more videos you would like to recommend me, leave them in a comment down below. Message me on Instagram. Message me on Discord. Whatever tickles your fancy. All right. Well, have a wonderful day, everyone. Stay safe. Goodbye.